Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Williams. I'm the one that wrote that book, Rise and Shine: Anxiety and Depression Life Management Tools. It's in the final cut now, the fourth edition. But anyway, what I often do is, what I do is locally I go around pretty much everywhere, and I always have my cards in my hand, and these are those cards I bring with me. And here's a back side of it. You may have seen something like that before, but on whether it be Twitter and Facebook or whatever, or in public, if I meet you. But anyway, when I go to the colleges, or wherever I go, I always ask, oh, hi, buddy, or hi, miss, or hi, Mrs., or hi, whoever it might be. Do you happen to read books? And actually, when in colleges, interestingly, I often hear like 75% of the kids, it seems like, no. I go, wait a minute, you're in college. Your parents pay a lot of money for you. Do they know that you're not educating properly? Anyway, it's kind of standard these days that people don't like to work on themselves, read, educate, work on themselves. But my goodness gracious, if things are complicated, we need to do that. And what's more complicated than us? So yeah, we got to do that. And if I didn't, like do the education and working on myself really hard, I would not be here talking to you. I would have lost my life at age 46. I had I had 25 years worst case anxiety, depression, and OCD, a gray beard psychologist in a psych ward where I was at 4 times in a psych ward, tried to commit suicide twice morbidly. But he said, you know what, you might as well, to my ex at the time, or ex now, but at the time was not, he said, you might as well throw away the key, he's not going to get better. And that's coming from a professional. Anyway, yeah, actually, I've gone through a lot of professionals in my time, going through the gauntlet of pain that I did, and I did not really learn anything from them how to do it the proper way, the natural way. I had to learn from a lady ex-sufferer. Um, as I am now, and her prose that where they kind of nailed the process of positivity for one thing, and we need that in our lives more so now than ever before because there's a lot of negativity that is all around us these days, and people are more negative than they used to be, I think, or well, that's just human nature. It's easier to be more negative than positive, right? So powerful stuff, and the key thing about that is what I learned from the lady. Okay, it was back in 2002 when I heard her voice in the radio station, and between her and her professionals, it took them 16 years to develop and optimize how best to change negativity and positivity. And that, my friends, that's the only psychology we never always ever need to know in our lives. Nothing more. That's it. If you know how to do it right. 16 years is a long time. We can't match that. I had a key piece for depression because otherwise, what the lady provided back there in 2002 per 1999 program that I bought from her, self-help program that I bought from her that saved my life, and to this day, there's not a close second. And especially with what I was able to add, there's not a close second. I mean, we all play the negative positive game every single day, but generally speaking, even the average people don't do a very good job. And me, as a sufferer, I had zero clue. So I had to learn this, or I'd be a dead man. Okay. So anyway, yeah, that's the majority of the book and page count and everything. And full instruction set and details. Details are key here, my friends. Some people I come across, they say, "Oh, positive, negative." Yeah, right. You, you wouldn't, if unless you looked at this stuff, if you read deep in this stuff, you wouldn't know what constitutes a positive well-being. There's so many factors that come into play, and this lady hit them all. But for depression, I was able to add some key pieces, and there's other frills that I add along the way. Anyway, the other part of the book is that we see where I'm pointing. Yeah, yeah. We need our faith, our foundation, the basis of our positivity, our number one dependence. Because without a number one dependence in our lives, who else and what else are we going to depend on in life? You think you can depend on another human being when it comes down to this up here? Not a chance. It's limiting what other humans can provide to us. Or medication and quick fixes, not a chance. Remember, medication is only temporary at best if you take that stuff. it's a tough thing. I hated taking medication. I mean, I hated the dependent crutch thing. It never made me feel good at all. I hate it. And I knew that I'm glad, thank God, there was a natural way of getting out of this, which I had to learn, and it didn't come naturally. I had to learn it. So tremendous stuff. But we got to have that, as far as our faith, our foundation, number one, dependence. We got to have a strong foundation, and that is, if I didn't mention, it's the basis of our positivity, right down there. Just like a building, if we don't have a strong foundation, the building is going to topple if we start building it up, up to a high level. Same thing. Or if we're a tree with a root system, unless we have a strong root system, windy day, we're going to blow down. So that's the way this whole stuff works. And bottom line is, there's nothing more we can do for ourselves on the planet. Nothing. I mean, I'm talking about the natural way to do it. Of course, the positivity stuff I do have: exercise and eating. I'm sorry, exercise, eating well, smiling and laughing. Because as far as the smiling and laughing, that's endorphins. And if we don't learn how to smile and laugh in life, we turn old and grumpy, and nobody wants to be like that. Nobody wants to be around people like that. So very powerful stuff, my friends. It's just huge. And I know I'm an unknown. My popularity numbers are whatever they might be. I don't do it for numbers. I don't do it for the number of likes and loves and things like that, and thumbs up. Whatever. That does not matter, because I know, well, as they say, the truth hurts. And sometimes when we hear the truth, we don't like that. But the truth of the matter is what's written in this book. And I know this is a very special book. It's probably spent, oh gosh, I just kind of put in the book, just a rule of thumb, about 15,000 hours of thought into the darn thing. And no, it's not a darn thing. It's a beautiful thing, actually. And like, just without even thinking, if you can think of it, contemplate this, just doing the writing and editing, probably about 1,500 hours, 7 years and 4 months of writing this. But anyway, and I did start writing it for my son to save his life after I saved my own, and he was, quote, diagnosed with a bipolar. Yeah, I had to dub in here, and I realized one thing: I'm glad I'm not an actor. But anyway, yeah, my son was diagnosed with bipolar type 2, medication for life, they were saying. It was a very difficult time in my life, as well as his, where I was sinking down in my emotions, because when it's your own blood, um, and it's outside of your control, I wanted to take in the pains. Give me your pains. I knew how to deal with it, but I couldn't teach him how to. Well, he had to do it on his own, and we realized it was obvious, as I was pulling out of the mud myself a little bit, that you have to tune into the my section 4 of the book. Your foundation, you got to shore up on. That's the problem. He finally did that. He moved to an area where they have some gnarly weather this time of the year, a lot of clouds and all that stuff, a lot of rain. Unless you're emotionally sound, that could be a real problem. But he's doing beautifully emotionally and everything. So boy, he's on his way. He's going to be shining in life. Fantastic. Daddy-O couldn't be any happier. As far as like conditions like OCD, like I told you, OCD is, most of those thoughts are all negative, unreal thoughts going on, and we ruminate on those. And so, yeah, this book is huge for them as well. It's all negativity, positivity shuffle that we got to do, and including in our foundation, of course. PTSD. That's a condition that people are subjected to a traumatic event or events, or they have witnessed such, and so the ones, it's a matter of positivity and negativity to a great extent there too, because if we have a positive mindset, we're pretty positive, we go through that. Well, we may succumb a little bit to that condition, but we won't have that, or people won't have that condition. They can do well with it, with faith, for instance, and in dealing with that without any medication or whatever. But for those that are, kind of negative mindsets, they're the ones that are going to suffer, because that negativity enhances and exacerbates the condition, causing the condition. Addiction recovery. For addiction recovery, we're all walking the fence of life, which is kind of getting thin and everything. Okay, and for me, I was not addictive, but when I had the pains of anxiety, depression going on, I fell on that side of the fence, dealing with it for 25 years of my life. Okay, where the others that are more addictive, they'll be walking the fence and they will fall into addictions. And then for them, it's a double-edged sword because they got to get over that addiction first. Okay, so I always recommend my book. You want to probably want to get into 12-step program, which is faith-based, and step number one or two, I forgot which one that was. Um, anyway, so that's really important. But eventually, like I say to people about this book in general, when we train ourselves to be strong, independent, secure within ourselves, by ourselves, we don't need another human being to make us feel good. We need ourselves and something much bigger than us. When it comes down to up here, back. Okay. So for them, they could get back in the fence of life, and with this this education on top of what they've learned in the 12-step program, they would be well on their way, and they could have a joyous life, and no problems, and they can and they've kicked the addictions to the curb. Other conditions, well, ADD, ADHD, negativity, positivity, of course. BPD, another one, bipolar or personality disorder. Man, I would have had that too probably if they diagnosed me these days with what I had before. Anyway, this book is huge. If you want to check it out more, go on Amazon, go on Twitter, my Twitter site, or which is at Ronnie LG123, or you go to Facebook under Ron Williams, and I got my information there. But if you can go to Amazon.com and do a search on Rise and Shine Anxiety, and the book comes up, and it looks like this. And you click on that, look at the reviews that I have, and including the 1-star review. And please, for the 1-star review, open up, select the title of that so you can see the comments. And I added a comment to it, a tactful comment to that. Um, and another person I'm presently dealing with right now added a comment to that as well. And he's an English major, so that was very helpful. And the fact is, he's doing really well now, and in about a month and less than a month. Well, actually, well less than a month. He'll probably generate a really, really solid overall review of the book. Anyway, that's about it. You take care. Have a great day, and God bless you. And bye as soon as I hit the stop sign.